Welcome to Roots Marty Majra. We are a digital platform looking at the issues of the marginalized and the minorities. And we have with us today Reverend Valsan Thampu, who was the principal of St. Stephen's College in Delhi, and also the Delhi Minorities Commission head for some time during Sheila Dikshit's CM days. And he is known for his views on many subjects, including the issues of the minorities. Today, we want to discuss the state of minority issues, which is thrown up by the elections of 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and what does this verdict, which is not so good majority for the ruling BJP, spells for the minorities. And we already saw that there is no Muslim minister in the cabinet, and though there is one Christian inducted from Kerala, who is not even an MP. Valsan Thampu, what do you see? How do you see this verdict as far as from a minority, viewpoint?
Well, the verdict of the just concluded national elections has been a surprise practically to everyone. Some people are pleasantly surprised, some people are rather unpleasantly surprised, but surprised all people are. But looking at it specifically from the perspective of minority communities, I mean religious minority communities, because the Constitution also recognizes linguistic minorities. Let's leave aside that for the moment. Looking at it from the perspective of religious minorities, obviously this outcome is the best under the existing circumstances. It has far exceeded the rosiest expectations entertained, especially by the Muslim community and the Christian community. So in that sense, there is a reason to feel relieved, if you like, reassured, if you like. Reassured because the Indian voter has shown great discernment through these elections. So the idea that by invoking majoritarian communalism, a party can effortlessly perpetuate itself in power has been given a body blow. And what is even more important is, or remarkable, is the fact that the Hindu community seems to have rejected the communal card. The most encouraging proof of this is the fact that the BJP candidate lost in the Faisalabad seat, which is where Ayodhya stands, and the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, resulting in the construction of the Ram temple in Ayodhya, was considered to be the most significant achievement of the BJP-led Sarkar. So for that party, the candidate of that party, to be rejected so convincingly by the people of Ayodhya, I think is very significant. So the most reassuring message from this election, from my point of view, is that the communal card that the BJP has been playing to great electoral dividend seems to have exhausted its usefulness. And I don't know how the BJP will strategize coping with that situation. They have a think tank which works tirelessly to evolve strategies in response to emerging situations. For example, will they go back to the 90s when communal tensions, communal atrocities were perpetrated on Christians in order to create a sense of being beleaguered on the part of the Hindus? See, it is necessary to attack a religious community to convince others that this community is dangerous. Now,
Okay.
therefore, a religious minority community does not have to be attacked because it has done something wrong.
Yes.
Attacking a targeted minority community has the main purpose, sometimes the sole purpose, of creating an artificial or contrived impression that this community holds a serious existential threat to the majority community.
Okay.
So the victim will then be perceived as the aggressor, and this then contributes to the polarization and the consolidation. Communal polarization based on Hindu, resulting in Hindu vote consolidation. And this strategy was used very effectively by the BJP in the past. As of now, the situation is pretty complicated because in 2013-14, the BJP apparently switched from the communal card to the development card, and a lot of propaganda happened that way, and the BJP pretended that it had the monopoly of the development of India, and India can develop or go forward only if BJP is in power. That also now seems to have run out of its luster because the promised development hasn't come. People on the ground are suffering. So the excitement that the Modi magic used to create cannot be fully counted on. It still works. It's not as though it is completed. It's spelled. It works. So I would very curiously look forward to see how the BJP think tank devises strategies to cope with the existing situation as revealed by the elections of 2024 elections. But for the time being, the religious minority communities, particularly the Muslim community, can heave a sigh of relief because very likely the BJP will not push the citizenship issue, the citizenship amendment law, which is meant to push the Muslim community on the back foot. It cannot be pushed by the present government because of the presence of Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu, both of whom cannot afford to displease or antagonize the Muslim community. So
Okay.
I don't see.
But
Pardon?
Raman, do you think the Muslim community, because they were pushed to the wall in North India
Yes.
to that
Yes.
extent, so
Yes.
do you think that they contributed to this, pathetic show of BJP in UP and in parts of Bengal and Assam?
Yes. Actually, we should not misread the election results. The results of this election is not as pathetic as far as the BJP is concerned as it might seem on the surface of it. If you look at the vote share, the BJP vote share has remained the same. If at all, it has only increased by about 1% nationally. So it is not as though the BJP's popular base has been demolished. That's not the case. The election results look dramatically different because opposition parties that have fought elections till 2014 against each other as well as against BJP came together as a matter of their own survival and created this Grand India alliance, which resulted in the consolidation of votes from different caste and religion-based pockets. So it's more the gain on account of a new coalition than on account of BJP's loss of popular support.
Okay.
BJP has succeeded to solidify a certain support base, and that is not going to evaporate anytime soon.
Yes.
So it will be very naive on the part of either the opposition parties or the representatives of the religious minorities to think that BJP is already a spent force. It is not. It is still the most formidable force in India at the present time.
Okay.
And the
Today,
opposition
yeah,
parties
yeah.
opposition parties are still not convincing coalition. They don't gel together well because they've got their own battles to fight against each other regionally.
Okay.
As in Kerala, in shall
Delhi
we say
also.
West
Yeah.
Bengal, Delhi, so on and so Punjab. So in various states, this issue still remains.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Today is also the death anniversary of Father Stan Swami.
Yes,
Who died
yes,
in the jail because
yes.
for alleged Maoist link. You know, and you have seen that many of the Christian missionaries are working in tribal areas for so far the upliftment of the tribals have been put into this kind of situation. They are caught between the devil and the deep sea kind of thing. They are neither Maoists nor, what the government wants them to be. So, do you think that this kind of attack on the welfare measures by religious groups, whether it is Christians or Muslims, will will BJP will continue to do so that they can, as you said, they can make gains. And you have to see it in also in the background that many of the NGOs have been denied FCRA.
Well, these are all different issues. First of all, the NGOs, Christian NGOs,
Yeah,
are not particularly good with handling the resources that are entrusted to them. The culture of Christian NGOs is very, very regrettably disappointing. So I'm not surprised that the FCRA permission for many of these agencies is withdrawn. I'm not at all unhappy about it because easy money becomes a potent source of corruption. And I know this area pretty well. I've been part of several Christian NGOs, and I can tell you from direct personal experience that almost every Christian NGO I know is corrupt to the core. There's no accountability, and therefore these NGOs have become an embarrassment to the faith. So that's one issue. Now, coming to the other issue of what happens to Christian missionaries, mission agencies involved in improving the condition of the neglected sections of our society, you see, it's very clear. One thing is very clear, and that is BJP as a right-wing economic and political kind of force, they are in collusion with the corporate sector, especially the corporate giants like Adani and Ambani. In fact, the most significant aspect of the Indian political national scene, from my point of view, is that the corporate sector and the state power have almost become one. Today in India, nobody can criticize or question Adani and remain unscathed thereafter. That's the one sin nobody will forgive you. The same goes for Ambani also. So the corporate sector has established a stranglehold on India. Now it is the the imperative need of the corporate sector to continue to grow and grow and grow till they have swallowed the whole of the country. Now, India prides itself on producing billionaires overnight. No one really asks the question how these billionaires are born. If wealth accumulates in one sector, it means that it flees from another sector. So billionaires are born because of the exploitation of a certain section of our society and the denuding of our natural wealth, the mineral wealth, etc. And almost all of this, a lion's share of this is obviously located in tribal areas. So in order for these natural mineral resources to be exploited, it becomes necessary to take away their land. So tribal rights, basic fundamental human rights have to be violated in the interest of material development. And somehow an attitude has come into being in India that is not the creation of BJP alone. If you look at the number of people displaced from their habitat in the name of development from 1947 onwards, you'll have very shocking data. Tribal people have always been under attack because they happen to live in areas where all the natural and mineral wealth are concentrated. And unless and until that dispossessed of the land, this wealth cannot be mined or excavated or taken out. So they have to pay the price, and that will continue to be the case, irrespective of who governs the center. The degree of atrocities might vary. The degree of brutality with which this agenda is pursued could vary, but the reality will remain pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Stanford was
and you have a lot of Christian missionaries working in the tribal areas. Is that the
yes.
reason that they are being targeted?
Yeah, Christian missions are largely responsible for raising awareness among the tribals concerning their rights. And one of the factors that plays a big role in this is education. Christian missionaries provide education to people who otherwise would not be educated. Now, education not only raises awareness of the local people concerning their fundamental rights, but also creates in them a sense of indignation, inducing an attitude of resistance and rebellion in them against this continued exploitation that they have to suffer. Another important issue is the sexual exploitation and assaults, including rape of tribal women. Huge atrocities take place, and for a long time they put up with it. Now it's being resisted. So that's another issue. Any sign of tribal resistance is seen as anti-national, and therefore Christian missionaries, missionaries like Father Stan Swami, who not only preach the gospel or preach the Christian religion in the conventional way, but try to become part of the people's struggle for justice, which has the potential to upset the apple cart of the corporate sector. They are deemed as a far greater enemy than the conventional preachers of religion, who at best or at worst could convert a few people. Conversion, of course, is a very sensitive issue. I don't want to downplay its political sensitivities. But the most unforgivable sin in India is to awaken the tribals who are being exploited and brutalized under pretext of national development or promoting national interest, and creating in them an attitude of resistance to this organized systemic atrocity on them. And anyone who aids and abets this process will be targeted and neutralized. So that's what happened to Father Stan Swami. But the saddest part of it is that when he was languishing in jail, the Christian community, particularly the Catholic Church, completely ignored him, disowned him. Nobody uttered a word.
Yeah.
Nobody uttered. And at the same time, the Roman Catholic bishops were trying to curry favors with the same administration that was perpetrating this atrocity on one of them.
Yes,